All right, so with the two-step equation problems, we are actually going to start out and go through this sheet, and we're going to figure out how to write them. Then we're going to go back, learn how to solve them, and so we're going to go a little different order than we went with the one-step equations. So when we're looking at this first one, it says the fare costs $3 to get in and $2 for every ride. And we did some of these with my class with writing expressions. There was just no equal sign. So we then were able to plug it in and figure out how many rides they could ride if they had a certain amount of money. So this is where we're kind of going back to. So the fare costs $3 to get in and $2 for every ride. And that every is going to tell us to multiply. So right now I've got $3 to get in, and I'm going to add $2 for every ride. Now we don't know how many rides they went on. So it says how many rides did he go on. We're going to make that our variable, and I'm going to choose the variable R. So that means $2 times every ride that she rides. So I would add $2 each time she rides a ride. So then it says if John spent $21, so it means his total is $21. So I now have 3 plus 2R equal to 21, which I could also write as 2R plus 3 equals 21, which is the typical, more standard way you're going to see it written. Our second question here then. Logo Shirts Incorporated is going to charge Waynesville Middle School $5 for each t-shirt they make for the school. The company will also charge the school a flat fee of $35 to set up the design. I was just doing this when I was getting basketball jerseys made. So they charge us a one-time printing fee, but then they charge us a certain amount for each shirt. And then you can figure out how much you have to pay from there based on how many shirts you get made. Well, in this case, we actually know the total, but we're not sure how many shirts they bought. So it says, how many shirts did they buy? Now you could use the variable S that tends to look like a 5. So I tend to shy away from it and not do that as much. I typically will use an X or a Y, just because also next year in 8th grade you're going to be using the X and the Y pretty much exclusively, because you're going to be working on the coordinate grid and graphing stuff. So once again, they're going to charge us that $35 one-time setup fee. So that is just $35. But when they charge $5 for each t-shirt, maybe I'll use a T for t-shirt, so $5 times the number of t-shirts. So if I have $5 times each t-shirt, so 5 times, say I made 10 t-shirts, that would be $50. We don't know how many, but we do know that we bought a whole bunch of t-shirts. We had to pay that $35 one-time fee, and we ended up spending $500. So we'll come back to that and we'll figure out how many t-shirts did we actually buy. It's kind of suspenseful to do it this way too, isn't it? So our next one here, we have Sarah went out to dinner with her 3 friends. So we have Sarah going out to dinner with her 3 friends. And the biggest mistake I'm going to see people make is how many people went out to dinner. So pause it and see if you can take a guess. So if I have Sarah and her 3 friends, that means I'm going to have 4 people going out to dinner. 4 people. And they split, which to me right away says, I'm going to divide. They split the dinner bill evenly, and then each gave a $1 tip. So they each gave a $1 tip. So if Sarah spent $11, how much was the original bill? So we'll just use B this time. I really don't like B typically because it looks like a 6, but I'll try to write nice and neatly for you. So the original bill, we said they split that original bill. So the bill is going to be divided amongst those 4 people. Now each person gave a $1 tip, and you're going to be tempted to put $4 here because a $1 tip for each person, but they only told us how much Sarah spent. They didn't tell us the whole amount. So we're only going to add the $1 tip here because whatever portion of the bill Sarah paid, would be the B divided by 4 plus her $1 tip gives us that $11. Our next question here is about a rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is 30 centimeters, and you know me, I always like to draw it as soon as it gives me a shape to give me an idea. And it's saying the perimeter is 30, and then I have to remind myself that the perimeter means that going all the way around is 30 centimeters. The length of the rectangle is 7 centimeters, and it says, what is the width? Well, in order to find perimeter, we do 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So since I already have that equation from my geometry practices from before, I can just go ahead and write that, and then I can plug in the numbers I know. Well, I know my perimeter is 30, and it told me that my length is 7 centimeters, so I can plug that 7 in there. And then it says, oh yeah, what is the width? Well, I already have a W for that variable, and I can simplify this just a little bit. I'm going to get 30 equals 14 plus 2W there, just to kind of make that a little neater. The next one, the perimeter of my rectangle is 30.8 centimeters. So I'm going to once again use that P equals 2 times L plus 2W. If the length of the rectangle this time is 8.9 and the perimeter is 30.8, I'm going to go ahead and put those in. So it is the same exact question. I just have decimals. Don't let those scare you. So 30.8 is equal to, when I multiply 8.9 times 2, I get 17.8 into there. This next one says that Jack is 26 years old, which I know sounds ancient to you guys. Sounds so young to me. Not so young to Mrs. Bradford. Mrs. Beach, a little young. Not too young. She's not very old. That might be how old Mrs. Beach is, actually. Jack is 26 years old. He is 4 years older than twice his sister Jamie's age. So he is 4 years older. So 4 years older, we're going to look at that. That's a plus 4. Then twice his sister Jamie's age. And it says write an equation that can be used to find Jamie's age, A. So they've already given us a variable. So I want twice his sister's age here. And as soon as I see that, I'm like, oh, twice that is 2A. And then it says he's 4 years older, so 2 times her age plus 4 is going to give me Jack's age there. I can also try to write these out. I can say 2 times Jamie plus 4 years is Jack's age. And then I can also go back and I'm like, oh, 2 times Jamie. Well, Jamie in this case is A, plus 4 years more. And then is, that's my equal sign, Jack's age is 26. So I can kind of take these sentences too and break them down into something that makes more sense to me.